students. Good afternoon to you all. I hope you all are doing fine today. So in your previous lecture, we discussed about the kinds of sentences based on their purpose, their function, and what was the determining factor there. It was your expressions and it was the display of emotions that you carry while speaking those sentences. And it was the categorization of the sentences on such a basis that is assertive, interrogative, exclamatory, and imperative. Now we shall be discussing another classification of the sentences, and this time it is based on the structure of the sentences, and that is what I have mentioned here on the board. It is simple, compound, and complex sentences. I am slightly indisposed today because of the fever and accompanied by recurrent bouts of coughing also. So I am sorry for the interruption in between if there is any. So you might have noticed somewhere you find shorter sentences, and there are some sentences which are comparatively longer, because some sentences contain separate clauses into them. There are some sentences which are made up of different clauses, and that's why, and that's what we are going to discuss here today. Before coming to this, you must know about the phrases and the clauses also. So in the previous class I told you about what a phrase is and what is the difference between a phrase and a sentence. And what was that? That was the usage of the verb. A phrase that does not contain a subject and a predicate. It means it does not have a verb. But a sentence has a subject and it has a predicate. It has a verb also. So what makes the difference here? That is the verb. A clause does have a verb. What is a clause? A clause is nothing but just a shorter part of a sentence. I have told you many a times before that a sentence can be made up of many clauses, but a clause cannot be made up of many sentences. It means a clause is just a part of a sentence having its separate finite verb. So you must be aware about the finite and non-finite verbs too. So I shall be discussing about the two later. Before that, let me tell you the difference between the phrase and a clause. Like I write here, a beautiful girl. Can you tell me, is it a phrase or a clause? Can you find a verb in it? There is not a verb in this group of the words. Is it a group of words but not making a proper thought or a proper sense? So it cannot be called as a sentence and it cannot be a clause too. It can just be a phrase because it does not contain any subject or any verb. So a beautiful girl, it is just a phrase. And when you write a girl who is beautiful, what it becomes now? It now becomes a clause because it contains a verb in it now. And what is that verb? It is this. And it is a finite verb. And finite verbs are those which change according to the tense forms of the sentences. Those verbs which can be changed into the different tense forms, those are the finite verbs. Okay, let me write down an example here of the phrase the broken chair. This again is a phrase because it does not have a verb in it. If you write like the chair died is broken, it becomes a clause now because we have put a verb into it now, that is this one. So what is the difference between a phrase and a clause? A phrase does not have a verb, it is a group of words and it acts as a noun, as an adjective or as an adverb. Suppose this, the broken chair. It works as an adjective. It tells you about how the chair is, about the quality of the chair. You know about the adjectives. Adjectives are the words which describe the nouns. Any word that tells you anything about a noun or it describes a noun is an adjective. It may tell you about its quality, about its quantity, and about its number, and about any of the other specifications. That will be an adjective. And an adverb tells you about a verb. Any word that describes a verb is an adverb, and any word that is describing a noun is an adjective. So somewhere it can work or it can function as a noun, and somewhere it can function as an adverb, and in some cases it functions as an adverb. So you must be clear about the difference between a phrase and a clause now. A phrase does not have a verb and a clause does have a verb. And what is a clause? A clause must have its own finite verb in it. And what is a finite verb? I'll tell you about it too. You have two kinds of verbs, finite and non-finite. A finite verb is one that changes into the different tense forms. And a non-finite verb has nothing to do with the tense, with the person, or with the number in the sentence. Just take an example here. He likes to work hard. This is a sentence in present indefinite tense form. Okay? He likes to work hard. There are two verbs in it. First one is this, and then you have another verb. He likes to work hard. This is a statement in present indefinite tense. Sorry. If you change this statement into the past one, it will become as he liked to work hard. So do you notice here which of the verb changes here according to the tense? It is only this one. And this one remains unchanged in any of the tense forms. He likes to work hard in present indefinite. In past indefinite it becomes he liked to work hard. And in future it will become as he will like to work hard. Or in past perfect it will be he had liked to work hard. In present perfect he has liked to work hard. It means to work remains unchanged throughout all the tense forms. Only this verb changes, so it is a finite verb. And this one is a non-finite verb. A finite verb is one that changes into the different tense forms, and a non-finite verb, I told you that it has nothing to do with the tense form or with the number or with the person used in the sentence. It does not change into any of the forms. So the difference between a finite and a non-finite verb must be clear now, that a finite verb changes and a non-finite verb doesn't change. Finite verbs are those verbs that change into the different tense forms and that change according to the number of the persons. Suppose he likes to work hard. I am mentioning the same example again here. To work hard. He likes to work hard. Then again, if I mention they like to work hard. So here it synchronizes with the person here. Likes, as it is a third person singular subject here, I have used a plural verb here, likes. Here it is third person plural subject, it is not singular, it is plural, so we have used like only. It means a finite verb changes according to the tense or according to the person, according to the number 2. But this one, work hard, to work hard, there is no change in it, be it be in any of the tense forms or be it be any number or the person in the sentence. So a finite verb changes according to the tense, according to the number or according to the person, but a non-finite verb doesn't change. So you have 3 kinds of non-finite verbs. The first one is you have first infinitives. Infinitives. Then we have gerunds. Then we have participles. These are the 3 kinds of non-finite verbs. So we shall be discussing them in detail in your classes in future. Here I am just giving an overview of these things. You must remember that infinitives, gerunds and participles. Infinitives again can be bifurcated into 2. The first one is to infinitive and the second one is bare infinitive. Okay? To infinitive is the basic form of verb or the first form of verb used after to. To walk, to go, to come, to swim, to sleep, to run. So all the basic forms of the verbs here are used after to. And a bare infinitive is one which is used without to. The basic form of the verb or the first form of the verb used without to. He made me sit in the corner. So here, this one is a bare infinitive. Again, I told you that it has nothing to do with the change of the tense or with the number of the person used in the statement. So can you identify which one is finite and which is non-finite verb here? It is this one that is finite because it changes. See, it has already been used in the past form here. And this set, it will be used the same way in all the tense forms. And it has nothing to do with the subject or with the tense here. He made me sit in the corner. He has made me sit in the corner. He will make me sit in the corner. Or he had made me sit in the corner. Has made, have made, or had made. So all the changes occur on this one. This is a finite verb and this remains unchanged for all the forms. So it is a non-finite verb. And which one particularly out of the non-finite? It is the bare infinitive. To To infinitive is one which is used after to. He likes. He likes to swim. He wants to read. This one is finite and this one is non-finite. Again, this one is finite word because it synchronizes with the subject here. He wants. Yeah, I put an S here because the subject is third person singular. And if you change the tense form of this statement into any other tense, may it be in future, may it be in past or past perfect or any of these, this word will change or this verb will change according to that particular tense. There will be no change in this. To swim and to read, it will remain the same in all the tense forms. So he wants to read, this is the finite word, this is the non-finite word. And which kind of non-finite word it is? It is a to infinitive. I already told you that a to infinitive is one where a basic form of verb or the first form of verb is used after to. And remember this thing, you always use the basic form of verb after to. Don't use a verb in its past form after to. It is always used in its basic form. To read, to go, to come, to walk, to sleep, to come, to read, to write. Okay? So whenever you put a verb after to, it must be in its basic form. That is the first form. So infinitives, it has to infinitive and bare infinitive. A bare infinitive is one that is used without a to. He made the dog run through the fields. So run here, it is in its basic form. So it is an irregular verb because it remains same throughout all the three forms, be it in present, in past and in past participle to run. But here, it is not in the past form, it is in the present or the basic form because it is a bare infinitive. It has been used as a bare infinitive here, so it is in the basic form. He made the dog run. So what is the finite verb here? It is made. So this is a non-finite verb. And which kind of non-finite verb? It is the bare infinitive. Then come your gerunds. What are the gerunds? Gerunds are the ing form of verb acting as a noun in a sentence. Any verb in its ing form acting as a noun in a sentence is a gerund. It must act as a noun. Remember, just like swimming is my hobby. He likes dancing. So these verbs have been used here in ing form and they serve the purposes of a noun here in this sentence. In both of the sentences you will find that both these ing form of verbs act as nouns. Swimming is my hobby. It doesn't act as a verb here, but it functions as a noun here in this sentence, so it is a gerund. Swimming is my hobby. What is the verb here? What is the verb here in this sentence? So it is likes, and this word functions as a noun. So our gerund is an ing form of verb acting as a noun in a sentence, and then you have participles. So you have three kinds of participles here. The first one is present participle. And the second one, past participle. And the third one is perfect participle. Like I said, a gerund is a verb but acting as a noun, and it is always in its ing form, or it is called the fourth form of the verb too. As you have three forms of verbs, that is present, past, and past participle. And what is the fourth form of verb? It will be ing form. Any word or any verb particularly used in its ing form and functioning as a noun in a sentence is called a gerund. And a participle is one that acts as an adjective in a sentence. Okay? Basically, it is a verb, but it works or functions as an adjective. So you have separate kinds of participles. You have mentioned them here. The present participle is one that is used in ing form. Don't get confused here. A verb used in ing form, acting as a noun, is a gerund, but a verb used in its ing form, acting as an adjective, is a participle. And which one? Present participle. I saw. See, I saw a dancing goat. I found a singing bird. So these words here, dancing goat, and here, singing bird. Sing and dance, they are basically the verbs. And you have converted these verbs by using them into ing forms in these sentences, and they function as the adjectives here. They don't function as the nouns. Like in the previous sentence I mentioned there, it was I like swimming. I like what? Swimming. Swimming there was functioning as a noun. But here dancing, it is functioning as an adjective. I love dancing. Here it acts as a noun, so it is a gerund. But here I saw a dancing goat. It describes this noun. And any word that describes a noun or a pronoun is an adjective. So this is a verb used in ing form and acting as an adjective. So it is a participle. And which participle? It is a present participle. Here again in this sentence too, I found a singing bird. Singing, it tells you something about this noun, about the bird, singing bird. So it becomes an adjective. Though it is converted from the verb using its ing form, but it is acting as an adjective here. So it will be what? It will be a participle. Which participle? It will be the present participle. So what is a present participle? It is a verb used in ing form in a sentence and functioning as an adjective. That is a present participle. Now you have past participle. Past participle again similarly, it is a verb used in the past form not in past form particularly, but in past perfect, means third form, and acting as an adjective again. As I told you that all the participles, they act as an adjective in a sentence. So all these participles will act or will function as adjectives in the sentences. The present participle was the ing form of verb acting as an adjective. Now the past participle is the past form of the verb acting as an adjective, such as he sat on a broken chair. So break again is a verb, but here it has been used in the past form and along with the noun there. It describes the noun, so it becomes an adjective, and basically it is a verb. So any verb used in its past form to describe a noun or a pronoun and functioning as an adjective will become a participle. Which participle? It will become the past participle. Okay, are you clear about the present participle and the past participles now? Present participle is the ing form of verb acting as an adjective, and past participle is the past form of verb acting as an adjective in a sentence. Now you have perfect participle. It is always used like having plus past perfect form of verb, or the third form of verb, just as having finished his homework, he left for the ground. Having finished, this is the perfect participle. Having finished his homework, he left for the ground. Or having completed his work, he went to play. So these are the participles, and these all are the types of the non-finite verbs. So I'll just remind you once again about the finite and non-finite verbs, and they will come in handy for you while you are changing the sentences from compound to complex or from complex to simple. Non-finite verbs and finite verbs. I was talking about a finite verb is one that changes according to the tense form and that has a change as per the subject used in the sentence or as per the persons. But a non-finite verb doesn't change in any of the tense forms, and it doesn't align or synchronize with the subject or with the number used in the sentence. And furthermore, non-finite verbs are categorized into different kinds. It was infinitives. There you learned about two infinitives and bare infinitives. Two infinitives are those, the verbs which are used just after two in their basic forms: to come, to go, to walk, to learn, to swim. These are all two infinitives, and they will not change. They will not change in the different tense forms, and they will not change according to the number or the persons in the sentence. Then you have bare infinitives. They are just the first forms of verbs used without to, and they too will not change in any of the other tenses. Then you have gerunds, ing forms of verbs functioning as nouns in the sentences. Then you have participles. They are the present participles, past participles, and perfect participles. Present participles are those verbs which are used in their ing forms and acting as an adjective. All the participles function as adjectives here. Then you have it is the past participle. It is the past form of verb functioning as an adjective in a sentence. Then perfect participle, it is having plus third form of verb. Having said that, he left the room. Or having completed his homework, he went to play. So these are all the non-finite verbs. Now let's be back to the topic. It was simple, compound and complex sentences. A simple sentence is one that has just one subject and one verb. It has just one finite verb. It doesn't matter how many non-finite verbs it has, but it must contain one finite verb in it. That is a simple sentence. Then you have compound sentence. A compound sentence is one that is made up of two or more clauses, but what's the condition? That is, all the clauses must be independent. Means they must be independent in making their meaning. They must not be dependent on any other part of the sentence to make a proper sense. And then you have a complex sentence. What is a complex sentence? That is, there should be one independent clause and one or more dependent clauses. Okay? Just let me give you an example. She worked hard to succeed. As you can see, there you have only one finite verb in it. Can you identify that? It is verb. She worked hard to succeed. And to succeed is not a finite verb. Like I told you that a simple sentence must contain one finite verb in it. Okay? And what is that finite verb? That is here. And this is non-finite verb. And we just discussed about the non-finite verbs just a moment ago. To succeed belongs to which category of the non-finite verbs? It is to infinitive. To succeed. See, the basic form of verb succeed. This has been used after to here. So this is a simple sentence because it contains just one finite verb. And if you change this sentence into the compound one now, it means you will have to put down two separate clauses now. And both of these clauses must be independent in their meanings. Means both of the clauses should have or must have the finite verbs in them now. Like it would be, she worked hard, so she succeeded. Say now, you have two separate clauses. One is this and another is this one. And when two independent clauses are joined to make one single sentence, that becomes a compound sentence. Okay? Compound sentences are the sentences which are made up of two or more independent clauses joined by a coordinating conjunction. You have coordinating conjunctions and yes, subordinating conjunctions too. Which are the coordinating conjunctions? Just make a note of it. It is for, and, not, but, or, yet. So, these are the coordinating conjunctions. They show a coordination between the two clauses in a sentence. For, and, nor, but, or, yet, and So these are the coordinating conjunctions. So you will find in a compound sentence there will be two independent clauses joined by a coordinating conjunction. So it means any of these conjunctions will be put there in between the two clauses to have a coordination or to show the coordination between the two. Now, if we change this statement into a complex sentence, it will become like she succeeded because she worked hard. She succeeded because she worked hard. Now, can you identify which one of them is a dependent clause and which one is independent clause? You have two clauses here, and one of them is dependent, and dependent clause is also called a subordinate clause too, and independent clause is also called a principal clause or a main clause also. So which out of these clauses is the main clause and which of these is the subordinate clause? It is she succeeded. It is the principal or the main clause. Because she worked hard, this is the subordinate clause. This is a dependent clause. Like if you say because she worked hard, can it make a proper sense here? No. It depends upon some other part of the sentence to complete a proper meaning. Or if you say, when I entered the room, you cannot stop here. And the one who is listening to you will expect a few more words from you to understand it properly. When I entered the room, she left. This becomes a proper sentence now. Okay? When I entered the room, this is a subordinate clause because it doesn't make a proper sense or it doesn't give you a complete meaning. So when you join it with another clause here, just as he left, so it becomes understood now. It gives you a proper understanding of what you are saying. So here, because she worked hard, it becomes a dependent clause because if you say this part of the sentence or if you speak this part of the sentence without this one, it doesn't make a proper meaning. Because she worked hard, then what? She succeeded because she worked hard. Now, this sentence gives you a proper meaning. So, remember it now, a simple sentence is one which has one finite verb. And a simple sentence can be called as a clause too. As I told you, a clause is nothing, but it is just a smaller part of a sentence. The difference is only that a clause can be dependent or independent. There can be some clauses which make an independent meaning, but there can be some clauses which cannot make the proper meaning without adding some part of the other statements to them. So that is dependent and independent clause. So a simple sentence is the sentence which has one finite verb in it. And then you have compound sentence. A compound sentence is a sentence which is joined by a coordinating conjunction and has two or more independent clauses. Like, see here, she worked hard. It separately gives you a proper meaning. And this one again, if you tell this part of the statement without connecting it to this one, This again makes a proper sense. It gives you a complete meaning. She succeeded. This is an independent clause. So neither of these parts of the sentences or neither of these clauses depend upon any other clause to give a proper meaning or proper sense. But in this sentence, you will find because she worked hard. This doesn't make a proper sense or it doesn't make a complete meaning. It means it is a dependent clause because it depends upon this part of the sentence or upon another clause to make a proper sense or to make a proper meaning. Okay, so I'll be giving another example to you. Just as he is too tired to play. Which sentence is it? This is a simple sentence because you'll find only one finite verb in it. One finite verb is there. It is this one. He is, because it can be changed into different forms. It can be changed into was. Okay? It can be changed into past forms too. So this is a finite verb. This cannot be changed. It will remain same. Whatever form of the tense you are using there, it will remain unchanged. So it is a non-finite verb. It is a to infinitive. So it is a simple sentence. If you change it into the compound one, it means now you will have to write down two independent clauses and join them by a coordinating conjunction there. So it will be like he is tired and he cannot play. He is tired. This is one part of the sentence, this is one clause, and this is another clause here. And you have observed there, both of the clauses are independent. None of them is dependent upon any other clause here to complete the meaning. Both of them separately can give you a proper meaning. He cannot play. This doesn't depend upon any other part of the sentence, and this again doesn't depend upon this part of the sentence to convey a proper meaning. He is tired. He cannot play. You will find here that both of these clauses are independent and they are joined by a coordinating conjunction, so it becomes a compound sentence. And when you change it into the complex sentence, there you must put one independent clause and another dependent clause there that depends upon the other clause to make a complete meaning. So it will become as he cannot play because he is tired. And he cannot play is an independent or principal clause. Because he is tired, it is the dependent clause. Because if you separately write this part of the sentence or this clause only, so it will not give you a proper sense or a proper meaning. It depends somehow upon this part of the sentence or upon this clause to convey a proper sense or meaning. So a compound sentence is one which is made up of two independent clauses joined by a coordinating conjunction, and a complex sentence is one that is made up of one independent or principal clause or one or more dependent or subordinate clauses, and they are joined usually by subordinating conjunctions. And although these are the subordinating conjunctions, although, because, that, so that. So these are some of the subordinating conjunctions, and I told you about the coordinating conjunctions also. They are for, and, nor, then you have but, or, and yet. So these are the coordinating conjunctions. They are used only to join the two independent clauses. That is, they are used in the compound sentences. And in complex sentences, you will use subordinating conjunctions, because one clause you will find here will be subordinate to the other. It means it will be dependent upon the other clause to complete its proper meaning. So this should be enough for today, students. Thank you very much. We shall be discussing or continuing this in the next lecture. Thank you.